Hello, and welcome to the Chapter 3 presentation of A Matter of Metaphor, Technology as a Tool, Text, System, and Ecology by Jackie Gibbons, Brooke Hastings, Stacy Taylor, and Mary Elizabeth Thompson. Chapter 3 discusses several different items used as metaphors. Nardi and O'Day do a creative job of presenting these terms, including tool, text, system, and ecology. In this presentation, we'll define each metaphor, we'll provide a relevant example, and we'll also discuss the author's views on the neutrality of technology. Technology as a tool might be something that brings to mind a hammer used to put a nail in the wall to hang a picture. The metaphor is used much in the same way. Defining technology as a tool. Using technology as a tool allows the user to accomplish something useful and have control. It's made to fit in the hands or minds of the user with easy clues to show proper use of that tool. If the tool is created and used correctly, then the user may achieve the task that was intended. As you can see here, there are several tools that people use, and these are just a few examples. For example, a smart kitchen might have lighting that turns on and off. A computer might be used by a student to achieve a task. These are virtual reality aids that can help in gaming and other activities. And of course, we've got our smartwatch here that can track some health goals and do some other tasks, and a camera which might be used for security. The next metaphor used by Nardi and O'Day is technology as text. Technology as text is a form of communication. The text is not always stable, as its meaning may change as it passes through different social structures. The author's message may not be clear to the person receiving the message, which can be a problem. For a moment, let's consider prescriptions and rubrics. Prescriptions may be sent electronically from the doctor or nurse's office to the pharmacy. If there's a problem in the translation of these prescriptions on the user's end, on the pharmacy end, there could be a problem actually filling that prescription correctly. As the pharmacist fulfills the prescription and presents the product to the customer and prints out the label for that customer, there can also be a gap in the communication to the customer that's passed along from the original prescription error. Rubrics are the same. If the intended message for a rubric is to communicate all of the elements of an assignment, and the user or the student doesn't understand that, it can be a problem in fulfilling the goal of that assignment. So there can be breakdowns in text that do not communicate the intended message. The next metaphor that's presented by Nardi and O'Day is technology as a system. To accomplish the goal of defining a system, Nardi and O'Day build on Elul, Winner, Postman, and other sociological and theoretical researchers and writers' works. According to Elul, technique is associated with the human value of efficiency. In this reference, the authors discuss a system in which technology is autonomously evolving and the humans have little control over evolution. The technology, aka the machine, represents efficiency in this case. Winner employs a little bit more balanced tone. He addresses the expansion on Elul's claims. He asserts that technology is controllable and neutral, like the user determines the good or bad use of that technology, and it can be understood by people. One of the quotes that Nardi and O'Day plug in here is that we're focusing on their work as examples of a particular vein of thinking about technology. So they used all of these people to help develop that system definition, and they do well with that. Postman says that technology has its own agenda. His views on technology fall in line with many of Elul's views as well. Nardi and O'Day also bring others into the discussion of a system, such as Bell and Gray, who refer to technology as desirable and inevitable. Negroponte's reference to the technology as a force of nature, and Foucault's assertion that we resist technology. Nardi and O'Day conclude the technological system is the water we swim in, and it has become life-sustaining and almost invisible to us, so we don't notice it, we're just swimming in it. This particular picture represents some of the systems that you might see. Now, this little guy in the bottom, it's too big, I feel helpless, is what Nardi and O'Day write about their systems. They say that things like social systems, economic systems, and political systems, the use of technology in those systems are very large scale. So they're not scaled to the individual like as in an ecology is. One change may not affect the whole system. So the system in action, this is a depiction of the KCTCS colleges, the educational system. And what you see here is sort of one of those mid-level systems where colleges are distributed throughout Kentucky. And each college has its own ecology. It has its own culture, its people, its technology. And yet some of those policies get passed down from a main office and are distributed across the state. And some of those aren't received as well, aren't used as well, and aren't communicated the same. I might not receive the message the same at my college as you might receive in yours because of the cultural nature of it. Here is just another example of a system. This is a huge network of systems where computers and cell phones and televisions are all in a global communication system. You can see how massive this is, where it might be difficult to affect change in a large way across a huge system such as this. The next metaphor used by Nardi and O'Day is technology as ecology. Nardi and O'Day present information ecology definition to fill in the gaps from the previous three, noting that they miss certain aspects of human technology use. Some of these gaps include missing framework for understanding technology's continuous evolution, a missing framework for understanding responding to technological effects on society, and a missing focus on the potential for local or particular changes. For a moment, just think about this. When you were reading Chapter 3 and its section on understanding technology, what other critiques of common technological metaphors stuck out to you the most, or even came to mind as you reflected on the author's arguments? Just take a moment to think about that. The authors provide an explicit definition a page after Chapter 3's conclusion, where they state, a system of people, practices, values, and technologies in a particular environment. They argue that the power of this metaphor lies in its inclusion of local differences, while still capturing the strong interrelationships among the social, economic, and political contexts in which technology is invented and used. The spotlight is not on technology, but on human activities that are served by technology. Technology is an ecology, an example. One example of an information ecology would be a typical Starbucks on a weekday. A member of our group frequents Starbucks regularly for meetings and independent work as part of her employer's floating office model. So let's have a look at those metaphors that we went over. A tool, people control using technology to accomplish a task. A text, a form of communication carries meaning to the user from the designer. A system, people are caught up in technology and the technology is embedded in social systems. An ecology, the evolving diverse system in a dense network of relationships in local environments. One of the final questions on this assignment had to do with the neutrality of technology. Nardi and O'Day take on a massive technological discussion focused on extremes. Moderate views, not just in Chapter 3, but throughout the book, were necessary to truly reflect the relationship between people and technology. Claiming moral neutrality and basing whether technologies are bad or good on how technologies are used leaves out the needed discussion of biases. The claim of moral neutrality dismisses the need to discuss new technology or conceptual possible technologies based on whether or not it should be used or created. Otherwise, if all technology is truly neutral, then every technology, regardless of consequences or biases, will be created and left without closer examination. These are the references that we used. The pictures were either gathered from license-free online sources, clip art, or we created them ourselves. Thank you so much for your attention. We hope that you enjoyed our presentation on Chapter 3. Have a wonderful day.